So using our trusty friend Urban Dictionary, a pick-me boy is defined as a guy who uses self-depreciation in a manipulative way so a girl will date him. They will say bad things about themselves to try and get a girl to oppose what they said. For example, oh my days, I'm so ugly, like no wonder girls don't date me. Just for the girl to then oppose that and say, oh my god, no, you're not ugly. For them to go, well, will he go out with me then? It's cheeky really. Urban Dictionary also says avoid these people at all costs. They use emotional manipulation and guilt tripping to get their way, and they're obsessed with the idea that they aren't like other guys. Similarly with pick-me girls, where they seek male validation by putting other girls down, cause I'm not like other girls. Pick-me boys fish for compliments and put themselves down to stand out from other men. And they handle rejection badly. Like when I say badly, you will be scared to reject a pick-me boy. They will start off all timid and kind-hearted, like, oh my god, I'm just such a nice guy, I'm just such a good person, nobody will like me. And then as soon as you shake your head no and say, sorry, you're not interested, expect to get insulted. There will be rudeness, there will be aggression. One thing I gotta rate them for though is their ability to adapt to their surroundings quickly. Like, they can all of a sudden be so passionate and into the exact same hobbies as you are, just all of a sudden, like completely instantly. Even though last week when you first told them about how you like skyrocketing, they didn't have a clue what you was on about. A term that's similar to this but also slightly different is nice guy syndrome. As Urban Dictionary again likes to say, it's a spectrum social disorder that makes a man think he's entitled to date or have sexual relationships with a woman simply because he sees himself as a good person. It is evident these people aren't actually nice people. Because if they were, they would just be nice for the sake of being nice. Like you would buy someone a chocolate because you just really want to give them a chocolate. Not expect something out of being nice. Don't give that person chocolate if you actually want them to drive all the way to Canada and back. Now, putting this into an example for you guys. If you're from the UK, you've heard of Love Island, you've probably watched Love Island. In this season's Love Island, do we know who Hugo is? I'm sure we know who Hugo is, but he is the definition, an example of a pick-me boy. Obviously, this is just my diagnosis. He's not obviously diagnosed with pick-me boy syndrome. But Joy and Teresa has spoken about this in her video, Nice Guy Syndrome, Pick-me Boys and Incels, where she's gone a lot more in depth than I'm going to go into it. She really described Love Island to you guys for anyone that hasn't seen Love Island. But Hugo was like the nice guy of the villa. He was an original cast member. And he was a person that the girls wanted to be friends with. They felt sorry for him. They wanted him to be with someone. They just didn't want him to be with them. He wasn't like all the other guys. He was, again, the definition of a nice guy. He was a teacher and he was just respectful, kind-hearted. He was quite timid. He was just chilled out. Because of this, all the viewers loved him. Like, if you ask the viewers who their favourite person on Love Island was, they would say Hugo because they just felt so bad for him. I was one of them. I would watch it and I was like, poor Hugo just needs someone. Just someone. And then he rejected the first girl. The first girl that came up and was like, you know what, Hugo, I actually think I like you. And he was like, no, sorry.
See, we're in this friendship couple.
Then the second person came along. And as time went on in the villa, more girls were starting to become interested in Hugo. I guess he's one of those things that the more you're like, oh, actually, I think he's a nice guy, is the more that you'll decide to like him. However, he shut down every single girl in that villa. The first time it was like, oh, that's okay, he'll find someone else. It just wasn't meant to be. The second time it was like, okay. And the third time, it was like, to hell with this boy. He cried about being lonely, but they never gave anyone an actual chance in the villa. Evidently, you could tell he only liked one girl in the villa. This was Chloe, and she was coupled up with Toby. They had a very on and off relationship, but they got there towards the end. And Toby was Hugo's friend. But in one of the recouplings, Hugo even went to slating Toby in front of everyone to try and look like the hero. Now, rather than pulling Toby to a side and being like, look bro, I don't like the way you're treating Chloe, maybe act like this, he said it in front of everyone, whilst also leaving the girl that all the viewers thought were perfect for him to the side to get kicked out of the villa. Now that's when we were like, I don't know if we like Hugo that much. He truly thought of himself as the knight in shining pink Hawaii shorts. And you know what he did after that? Do you know what he did after that? After the recoupling was finished? He tried to kiss Chloe. He tried to talk about how she needs a nice guy and Toby's not for her. Bear in mind, Chloe's emotionally vulnerable at this point, and Hugo really was trying to save the day, wasn't he? He was just really trying to save the day. That's what pick-me guys like to do. When they know they're at the like emotional vulnerable point, that's when they'll slide in, because usually that's when it works. Now, when it comes to why pick-me boys actually exist, that is the question. That is the question. I feel like it's one of those things that isn't really consciously done. Nobody decides that they're going to be a pick-me boy, and it's almost like a dating tactic mixed in with an actual characteristic trait of theirs, again, which is a flaw. They think that making a girl feel sorry for them will be their best chance of getting this girl. And where a normal person would use like their confidence to try and get the girl, it's very different. They're on complete opposite sides of the spectrum. It is definitely a toxic trait, and I can't say that all relationships work with a pick-me boy. Usually the relationship is always forced into it because the girl feels pity on the guy, as sad as it sounds. They feel bad and they don't want to hurt their feelings because they think that the guy is already in an emotional state, especially when this guy's constantly talking about how he's not good looking, how he's not like a man, how he doesn't like to go to gym, and all these like things that men wouldn't do to make them stand out, to be like not like the average man. Girls feel sorry for this, and they usually will get into a relationship from peer. As you get older though, you start to learn more about the red flags. You start to, especially in this generation, we know more about what pick-me boys are, and so we know that they're a red flag. So nowadays when pick-me boys actually come up, girls are like, nope, straight away, instantly, we'll just stop talking to them. And this rejection doesn't sit well with these guys. It will honestly hurt their self-esteem. They'll get rejected, they'll get hurt, they'll get rejected again, they'll get hurt, and eventually the whole pick-me boy strategy will just be their lives. They will have low self-esteem, they will think they're ugly because they're constantly getting that rejection. Their pick-me side becomes part of who they actually are, rather than this tactic to get a girl. It's just like the song, nice guys always finish last, should've known that, gave you my heart and you messed around and broke that, so sad. Pretty girls that hurt you so bad. It is literally the definition of a pick-me boy. But yeah, bye.